Hey gang, Tom Corley here with your tip of the week. This week's topic, the reading habits of self-made millionaires. What I thought I'd do is share with you some of the research data I have on the reading habits of these self-made millionaires. We'll just go down the list. 63% of the rich listen to audiobooks during their commute to work versus only 5% of the poor. It's a big difference there. 86% of the wealthy said they loved reading. Only 26% of the poor said that they enjoyed reading. 88% or 85% of the self-made millionaires read 2 or more educational books per month. Only 2% of the poor did that. 88% of the rich read 30 minutes or more for self-education versus 2% of the poor. 58% of the rich read biographies of other successful people versus 9% of the poor. 79% of the rich read something that was educational versus 6% of the poor. Only 11% of the rich read for entertainment. So 89% did not read for entertainment. They avoided entertainment reading. 79% of the poor read solely for entertainment purposes. This, by the way, is my research summary, just so you know what I'm reading from. 51% of the rich read books on history or information on history, and only 16% of the poor read historical information. 55% of the rich read for self-help books. Only 7% of the poor read self-help books. 66% of the rich read something inspirational every day versus 7% of the poor. So there you have it. The reading habits of the rich are one of the reasons why they're successful. They read to educate themselves every day. They learn through reading, and so they devote an enormous amount of time, on average between 30 to 90 minutes a day, reading to learn, and the poor don't. And that's the reason why the poor are poor. You know, Dr. Ben Carson is a neurosurgeon. He was raised in the ghettos of Detroit, and his mother forced him to read every day from the time he was 9 on. And that one habit is what helped elevate him, because he started reading books on successful people. And he said, well, he found out a lot of the successful people started out in poverty. And he thought to himself, well, if they started out in poverty, and many of them didn't even have the education he had a better education. He said, boy, you know, I have a better education than they do, and they were poorer than me, so why can't I become wealthy? And that reading habit of his is what really motivated him to do well in school. He became an A student after his mother made him read, and then went on to college and then become a neurosurgeon. So that's it for this week's. Hope you have a great week. Go get them. Bye.